Good day everyone. We are the group 2 and now we will discuss to you the chapter 3, which is the database systems, data centers and business intelligence. For our learning objectives, we have to define general data management concepts and terms, highlighting the advantages of database approach to data management, describe logical and physical database design, considerations, the function of the data centers, and the relational database model. Next is to define the common functions performed by all database management systems and identify popular database management system. And lastly, we need to identify and briefly discuss business intelligence, data mining, and other database applications. Why we learn about database systems, data centers, and business intelligence. So, yung database system, para daw siyang notebook or cabinet na may organized folders. Instead of kalat-kalat yung mga info, nasa isang lugar lang siya na madali mong mahanap, ma-update, or ma-access. Yung data center naman, para daw siyang giant computer room kung saan nakalagay lahat ng servers at storage ng data. Like for example, yung mga website, apps at online services na gamit natin such as Facebook, Shopee, or TikTok, nakadepende siya sa data centers. So kung wala to, wala tayong ma-access online. Yung business intelligence naman or yung BI, para daw siyang magnifying glass na ginagamit ng mga companies para makakita ng patterns at gumawa ng mga smart decision. So for example, yung Shopee gumagamit siya ng BI para makita kung anong product yung pinakamabili at anong oras madalas bumibili yung mga tao. So in short, we need to study these things kasi sila ang foundation ng modern business and technology. Kung marunong na tayo sa tatlong to, mas madali na natin siyang ma-handle at ma-protect yung mga data or information para makagawa tayo ng mga smart decisions. Databases and business intelligence system help organizations across all fields make informed decisions by organizing massive amounts of data into accurate, timely, and useful information. A database management system or DBMS managed by a database administrator or the DBA ensures data integrity, security, and accessibility through the data breaches remain a significant challenge. So, I do believe na na-mention na to ng mga last reporters. But uulitin ko lang siya because why not? 'Di ba? Or for more informations lang. So, yung database management system or the DBMS consists of a group of programs that manipulate the database and provide an interface between the database and its user and other application programs. So, yung DBMS or yung database management system is basically the software or a set of programs that manage the database. Siya yung parang bridge between the user and the database. This makes data consistent, secure, and easy to access. So, on the other hand, a database administrator or the DBA is a skilled and trained IS professional who direct all activities related to an organization's database. So, siya yung nagbabantay, nagba-backup at nagsisiguro na walang hacker or mali sa data natin sa mga records. Why is this important? Kasi kahit gaano kaganda yung database natin, kung wala naman system at walang taong nagmamanage nito, useless at dangerous siya. So, paano ba talaga nakaayos yung data sa loob ng database? That's where data management and hierarchy of data comes in. So, nabanggit na rin to ng mga past reporters pero mas i-elaborate pa lang din. So, yung business cannot operate without data. To be useful, data must be organized meaningfully. So, without data, hindi daw makaka-function ng maayos yung isang organization. Hindi sila makakabayad ng mga employees, makakapag-order ng inventories, o makakagawa ng mga tamang desisyon. So, data by itself is just a raw facts. Para maging useful, kailangan siyang i-organize. That's why we have the hierarchy of data. So, yung hierarchy of data is generally organized in a hierarchy that begins with the smallest piece of data used by computers and progress through the hierarchy of database. So, yung hierarchy of data daw, nag-start siya sa smallest piece of data. Yung bit, then yung character, field, record, and file. So, alam naman natin na yung meaning ng bawat isa nito. So, ito yung example ng hierarchy of data, which is yung pinakamaliit na information is dito sa byte or sa character. Like, for example, yung surname ko is nag-start sa letter B. Then, pagdating naman sa file, magiging buo na yung surname ko, which is, like for example, Baluyot. Then, yung records, dito na natin makikita yung kabuuan ng mga records, yung mga informations natin. Then, sa files naman, ito na yung collected records. Like for example, dito sa files, nandito na lahat yung mga enrolled sa BSIE. And then, mapupunta na siya sa database na ginagamit na ng buong university. So, ano ba ang laman ng records at paano natin sila uniquely na-identify? That's where entities, attributes, and keys come in. So, as a student, ano yung nag-a-identify sa atin at paano tayo uniquely na-identify? So, na-identify tayo through our name, section, and course. While yung uniquely na nag-identify naman sa atin is yung student ID. Entities, attributes, and keys are important database concept. An entity is a general class of people, places, or things for which data is collected, stored, and maintained. Example of entities include employees, inventory, and customers. Most organizations organize and store data as entities. So, yung entity is a general class of people, places, or things for which data is collected, stored, and maintained. So, yung example ng entity natin is yung sa section natin, yung group of students sa section natin. And then, yung attribute naman, a characteristic of an entity. So, ito, dun sa buong section natin, meron tayong name, section, and course. While yung data item naman, the specific value of attribute. Diba sabi ko yung name and section natin. Ngayon, ito na yung specific value natin. Like for example, Abigail Baluyot, BSIE 4C, ganun. So, yung key naman, a field or set of fields in a record that is used to identify the record. So, yung sinabi ko nga kanina, yung nag-a-identify sa atin as a student is name. So, yun daw yung key to identify the record. While yung primary key naman, a field or set of fields that uniquely identifies the record. So, sabi ko nga kanina, yung uniquely nag-identify sa atin as a student is yung student ID. So, ito yung example ng entities attributes and key fields. So yung yung buong chart, ito yung entities or yung mga records. Then yung attributes naman, dito na pumapasok yung last name, first name, hard date. And yung data item natin is yung mismong value, which is yung sa last name dito is John Buckley or Fish. And then yung key field natin dito is yung employee number na unique na nag-identify sa kanila. As I discussed earlier, a collection of fields about a specific object is a record. A key is a field or set of fields in a record that identifies the record. A primary key is a field or set of fields that uniquely identifies the record. No other record can have the same primary key. So, sabi ko nga kanina, yung nag-identify sa atin as a student is yung pangalan natin, which is the key. And yung primary key naman natin, or yung uniquely na nag-identify sa atin as a student of DevZoo, is yung student number. So, like for example, eBay assigns a item number as a primary key to keep track of each item in its database. So, nag-a-assign daw ng item number or ng primary key yung eBay para mas madali nilang matrack yung item nila sa database. And like for example, sa atin din sa registrar, kapag kumukuha tayo ng mga records or yung mga certificates, yung primary key natin doon na ginagamit is yung student ID para they uniquely identify yung mga kailangan natin na records. So, yung difference naman between the hierarchy of data and entities, attributes and keys is yung hierarchy of data, structure siya, and may mga levels from bits to database. While yung entities, attributes, and key naman, ito yung mismong content and identity. What the data is about, its details, and how it's uniquely identified.
Database approach. Ang database approach ay nakalagay ito sa isang central base na pwedeng gamitin ng ibang application. Ang database ay nagmamanage and nag-access ng security and consistency. Example ng database, naglalaman ng detalye ng mga empleyado. Example ng pangalan, details, and mga sahod nila. Advantage of database. Number 1, better staging using the data. Isang mall o supermarket tulad ng SM Supermarket ay gumagamit ng central databases naglalaman ng sales data, mga proyektong mabenta araw-araw. Number 2, reduce redundancy. Example nito ay may isang kumpanya na nakarecord ng mga name nila na hindi pa ulit-ulit sa tatlong system. Number 3, improve data integrity. Example nito, ang cellphone number ng customer ay pareho sa bilang at support system, walang mali-mali. Number 4, easier modification. Example nito ay kung magdadagdag ng bagong produkto sa database, automatic makikita sa cashier, PSO at online store. Number 5, data independence. Example nito, kung isang universidad ay magdadagdag ng bagong file tulad ng estudyante email, hindi kailangan baguhin ang lahat ng apps. Number 6, better access to data. Ang example nito, isang branch manager ng Jollibee pwedeng mag-inquire ng sales per branch nang hindi kailangan ng programmer. Number 7, standardization. Example nito, lahat ng departamento ng HR, payroll, logistics. Sumusunod sa parehong database rules. Number 8. Framework from program development. Example nito, kapag ang framework ay may DBMS, data management system connector, mas madaling ang pagkuha at pag-save at pag-update ng data dahil hindi na kailangan mag-code ng Grow SQL connection bawat oras. Number 9. Security. Example nito, sa isang hospital, doktor lang ang may access sa medical record ng mga pasyente. Shared resources. Example nito, iisang database na ginagamit ng maraming user gaya ng online banking and mobile banking at ATM ng isang bangko. Andun lahat ng record nila. May tatlong uri ang disadvantage. Number 1, complexity. Kailangan ng Specto database administrator para mag-setup ng oral o SQL server sa isang malaking kumpanya. Number 2, reduce redundancy. Example nito ay may isang kumpanya na nakarecord ng mga name nila na hindi pa ulit-ulit sa tatlong system. Number 3, improve data integrity. Example nito, ang cellphone number ng customer ay pareho sa bilang at support system, walang mali-mali.
Data modeling and database characteristic. Data modeling is a process of designing and organize data. It's involved creating a structure or blueprint. Layunin nito ay ipakita kung paano konektado ang iba't ibang impormasyon sa isang sistema bago ito mag-implement sa isang database. Halimbawa na lang, gumawa ka ng database para sa isang paaralan. Gagamit ka ng data modeling para ipakita ang mga relasyon ng mga estudyante, guro, kurso at grado. So ano nga ba ang mga uri ng data modeling? Unang-una, conceptual data model. Pangalawa naman ay logical data model, and pangalawa ay physical data model. So database is a system for storing and managing data, so it can be easily accessed, update and organized. And data characteristic. When creating a data, you need to consider data redundancy control. Iwas sa pag-ulit ng data. Halimbawa ito, hindi mo kailangan ulit-ulitin ng impormasyon ng isang estudyante sa lahat ng subject. Data integrity naman, na tinitiyak na tama at consistent ang mga data. Halimbawa, hindi pwedeng ang edad ng isang estudyante ay -5, -5. Pangatlo naman yung data security. May control kung sino lang ang mga pwedeng access ng data. Hindi sa lahat ng tao ay pwedeng makita at mag-edit ng impormasyon. Pangapat naman, data independence. Pwedeng baguhin ang format ng data nang hindi naapektuhan ang mga application na gumagamit nito. Panglima, concurrent access. Marami kasing users na pwedeng sabay-sabay gumamit ng database na walang problema. So okay lang yan. Ang last naman is backup and recovery. May kakayahan ni backup ang data center. So ano nga ba ang data center? Ang data center daw ay isang espesyal na pasilidad kung saan nakaimbak ang mga maraming computer system, servers, and storage device na iniimbak sa pag-process ng data. So, unang-una na dyan yung store data. Keep huge volume of data, save and organize. Process data. Runs application, website, and services. Backup and recovery. Protects data and with copies in case of failure. Manage network traffic. Support fast and reliable internet access.
So, ethical and societal issues. So, sabi nga ng last presenters, it's essential as it stores, process, backups, and manages data. Essential ito sa mga e-businesses or anything internet-related. Sa katunayan, may data centers dito sa Pinas like EPLDT Incorporated, tsaka Globe MK1. Pero di lahat ng businesses afford sarili nilang data centers. Nor can an ordinary data center keep up sa enormous data a digitalized world need. Mega data centers are made to cater such problems. Isang mega data centers can serve hundreds of businesses. For example, one of the largest mega data centers is constructed at Newport in South Wales for $301 million. It consumes large space as well with 750,000 square foot facility na may 19,000 server racks. Mega data centers is a critical infrastructure dahil sa increasing need ng enormous data and the use of digital services. For example, mga online platforms, e-commerce, lahat ng gumagamit ng internet. Important ito kasi kaya niya mag-handle ng unprecedented volume of data daily. Example, ChatGPT. It's not as simple as type and go. May hidden process ito na pinaprocess sa mega data centers na nangangailangan ng maraming servers just to generate a simple line of text. So dahil nga pivotal yung data centers, security is also its importance. Both physical and cyber threats, kasi nga it houses massive quantities of essential digital information na kung may downtime man or breach can have a devastating long-term effect. So environmental factors and counters. So factors: high energy consumption. Mega data centers require vast amount of energy for processing, storage, and cooling. The Newport data centers, for example, needs about 90 megavolt amperes of electrical power, equivalent to a city of 400,000 people. Sa carbon emission, when energy demands are met by coal-burning power plants, this results in increasing carbon emissions, contributing to climate change. Environmental impact. The operation of these centers contribute to unprecedented worldwide energy consumption, exacerbating environmental issues. So yung mga counteracts na ginawa sa mega data centers are hardware efficiency, use more efficient servers, energy efficient technologies, implement new energy efficient technologies, migration to green systems, migrate data to a new green systems. Cooling techniques, use fresh air cooling, adjust thermostats to higher temperatures. Energy Star equipment, use Energy Star equipment. Setting standards, EPA releases pledge to reduce consumption. Companies may pledge to reduce electricity consumption. Measuring power usage, using PUE. Alternative energy sources. Use alternative energy sources. That's all.
Entity relationship diagram for customer-related job order. This entity relationship or ER diagram for a customer order database. Development of ER diagram helps ensure that the logical structure of application programs is consistent with the data relationship in the database. What is relational database model? The relational database model is a popular way to organize data using a standard tabular format. All data elements are placed into dimensional tables, also known as relations, which are the logical equivalent of files. This model simplifies data access and manipulation by organizing data in rows and columns. Relational database model is basically the most popular and easiest way to organize data. While there are other older ways like flat files or hierarchical models, this one won because it's just much simpler for us to grasp. This is the example of relational database model. Table 1, Table 2, and Table 3. Each table has rows and columns. A row is like a single entry or record, and a column is a specific detail or attributes. Example, student name, student ID, or grade. What is manipulating data? After entering data into a relational database, user can make inquiries and analyze the data. Basic data manipulation includes selecting, projecting, and joining. Selecting involves eliminating rows according to the certain criteria. Suppose a project table contains the project number, description, and department number of all projects a company is performing. The president of the company might want to find the department number of project 226, a sales manual project, using selection. The president can eliminate all rows but the one of the project 226 and see that the department number for the department completing the sales manual project is 598. The domain The domain is defined as the allowable values for a data attributes, which helps increase data accuracy. And in selecting, this is like a filtering rows. Imagine you have a huge list of projects a company is doing. If our boss only wants to see the details for project 226, we use selecting to grab only the row and ignore all the others. It, it helps us narrow down our search to specific records. In projecting, in manipulating data, this is about picking out specific columns. Let's say we have a table with project details, department names, and the manager's social security number. If we only need the department number and the manager's SSN, projecting, let us create a new, simpler view that only shows that two columns, hiding the rest. We're choosing which pieces of information we want to see. In joining in manipulating data, this is when we combine two or more tables. Sometimes the info we need is spread across different tables. For example, project details are in one table and department names are in another. Joining, let us stitch this table together based on something they have in common, like a department number, to create one big table with all the related information. In linking, this is the idea that if tables share a common piece of data, like a department ID, they can be linked to pull information from one to another. For instance, if the president wants to know the manager names and hire date for a specific project, the database can use the project department number to find the department, then use the department's manager to find the manager's details from a separate manager table. This is the example of manipulating data. Managers, department, and project. The managers to department is supervised, and department to project is performed. In data table, project table, the sales manual is 598. To the data table number 2, the department number 598 to manager SSN number is 098 for the 1370 is connected to the table 3 manager table to SSN number and then the name of the hard employee. You can see the hard date by the SSN number.
So now we are in the database management system. So in DBMS, users can retrieve or manipulate data in organized and efficient way, though their capabilities can be vary or nag-iiba depends on needs ng user. Example of this is Twitter and Google. So these apps all rely on their database to manage their service. Diba we are using Twitter and Google when we are searching for something, when we are retrieving data or information in online. Another example is library. Since in library we have a lot of books there, si librarian needs to track everything from the book titles, author names, who borrowed which books, return dates, and so on. Though pwede naman isulat ang mga ito sa isang papel or notebook, but it will be hard to search from it. Di tulad kapag ginamitan mo ng DBMS like Microsoft Access, you just search, type, and click, then lilitaw na yung information that you need. Also, ginagamitan din si DBMS sa mga big companies that store huge amount of data like Google, Twitter, and so forth. Also, all the companies that provide GPS location like Twitter and Google are discussing the creation of unified database of places. So what does it mean? So instead of each company having its own separate private database of places and locations, kinoconsider nila now ang pag-combine ng lahat ng mga database to create a giant shared database that consists of information on Earth. So it will be easier like Google Street View, or if you know that app, para siyang Google Map, to use that data and provide service. So since meron ng pricey softwares, we also have some alternatives. So first is the flat tile. So example of flat tile is the Microsoft OneNote. So in this program, you can write notes or ideas, place them everywhere on a page called container, then organize them with sections and tabs. You can also copy and paste these notes into other programs like word processing and spreadsheet, but they don't link to anything else. So the second one is the single user. From the word itself, single, it is for one person use on their own computer. It's not for sharing or being used by many. Good use for timesheet and tracking expenses. Example is the Microsoft Access. So basically, it's perfect if you're just handling your own data but not really meant for sharing. So the last one is the multi-user. Unlike single user, si multi naman is made for many people use at the same time. Example, in a company, thousands of employees uses one central database at the same time. So here we are talking the schema. So when we use DBMS, it also needs to know how the data is organized and ano yung relation ng mga data to each other. So to simplify, schema is like a blueprint of the database. Doon nakikita yung mga existing tables and anong klaseng data yung nai-input doon, and also yung connection of those tables to each other. Pwede siya maging part mismo ng database or maging separate schema file siya.
So for the creating and modifying the database, we have what we call a schema. So let me read the presentation. Schemas are entered into the DBMS or database management system via a data definition language. So in order to create or actually modify the database, kailangan muna natin ng schema. Yung schema is yung pinaka-blueprint ng isang database or yung pinaka-structure niya. So, meron tayong example dito sa bandang right side na table. Ganyan yung itsura ng isang schema. Then, yung DBMS naman or Database Management System, from the word itself, management system, ito yung nagmamanage dun sa database. So, bago makapasok si schema sa mismong database, magi-interfere muna si DBMS via DDL. So, yung DDL, ito yung or data definition language. Ito yung magko-command or magi-instruct sa DBMS kung paano niya i-build yung mismong schema. For example, pwede kang mag-create ng table, pwede mong i-alter yung table, or pwede mong i-drop yung table na gusto mong gawin. Create, basically, yun na yun, from the word itself, gagawa ka ng table. Alter, ito yung i-modify mo yung isang table. Then drop, completely remove the table from the schema. Then, sabi din dito, a DDL allows the database's creator to describe the data and relationships that are to be contained in the schema. In general, a DDL describes logical access paths and logical records in the database. So, ano nga ba yung dalawang yon? First, yung logical access paths. So, yung logical access paths, ito yung paano nakikita and paano rini-reach ni system yung mga certain datas. Magkaiba to sa physical access path. Yung physical access path is kung saan talaga nakastore yung isang data. Like for example, sa isang file, sa isang hard drive, ganun. Pero yung logical access paths, ito yung connection between the data regardless kung saang storage siya nakalagay. So, for example, may gusto kang, sa isang school database, may gusto kong hanapin na certain students or certain class. So, yung DBMS, may follow siya na logical path. For example, mga naka-enroll sa Infosys 413. So, yung DBMS, titingin siya dun sa mga classes table, tapos after that, sa enrollment table, then finally, dun makikita niya yung mga list ng mga students na naka-enroll sa Infosys 413. Even though physically yung mga data, kahit nakakalat pa yan sa hard drive or kung saan man siya nakastore, yung DBMS, makikita niya and ma-reach niya yung mga data through logical access path. Paano naman yung logical records? So, yung logical records, ito yung mga collection of related data items na grupo para magkaroon siya ng isang meaningful or maging siya isang meaningful unit. May example tayo dito sa bandang baba. Ayan, student ID, name, age, grade, and section. So, yung mga column na yun, tinatawag natin siyang field. So, di ba, may kanya-kanyang categories yan, may kanya-kanyang data, information. Then, yung tinatawag naman natin na logical records, ito yung mga row. For example, sa first row, yung student ID niya is 1, 2, 3, 4. And yung pangalan niya is Juan de la Cruz, age niya is 15, grade niya is 9, section is A. So, nakakabuo siya ng isang information. Yun yung tinatawag na logical record. Next up is data dictionary. So, data dictionary is basically, reference guide mo for your database. Hindi siya nagsustore ng actual data like student names or yung grades. Instead, nag-store siya ng information about dun sa data na yon. So, for example, dito sa table na nasa right side, dun sa, for example, sa Northwestern Manufacturing, prepared by. So, bago yan, gagamitan siya ng DDL para makapag-input ka dyan. So, prepared by, yung trabaho ni Data Dictionary, siya yung nagsasabi kung ano dapat yung mga nakalagay dito. For example, dun sa prepared by, dapat text lang yun nandito, walang numbers na included, ganun. Yung sa date, kailangan may certain format siyang pinoprovide sa isang schema. Ganun yung trabaho ni Data Dictionary. So, let us proceed to storing and retrieving data. One function of a DBMS is to be an interface between an application program and the database. When an application program needs data, it requests the data through the DBMS. So, in simple terms, yung DBMS, ito yung tulay from application program papuntang database. And kapag yung isang application program nag-request siya ng data, hindi siya directly napupunta sa mismong database. Dadaan muna siya sa DBMS as you can see dito sa ating example sa bandang right side. And meron din tayong example dito sa may sabi niya, suppose that to calculate the total price of a new car, a pricing program needs price data on the engine option, 6 cylinders instead of the standard 4 cylinders. So, in this particular example, gusto niya daw malaman yung total price ng bagong kotse. So, but instead of 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders yung gusto niyang malaman na price. Then once again, yung software na yon hindi siya didirekta dun sa database, kundi dadaan muna siya sa DBMS through logical access paths. Yun yung natakal ko previously, which ibig sabihin nun, hindi na niya iniisip kung saan physically nakastore yung data, basta gusto lang niya yung mismong value or yung mismong price. I-continue ko lang. In doing so, the application programs follows a logical, yun nga, yung sinabi ko. Next, the DBMS working with various system programs accesses a storage device such as disk drives where the data is stored. When the DBMS goes to this storage device to retrieve the data, it follows a path to the physical location or tinatawag na physical access path where the price of this option is stored. So kanina, kung si software, wala siyang pakialam kung saan magagali yung mga data, kailangan niya lang yung value. Si DBMS hindi. Siya mismo yung pupunta sa mga storage locations para i-retrieve yung mga certain data na kailangan ni software, na request ni software para makuha yung information na kailangan niya. Yun yung tinatawag na physical access path. Yun yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa. Yung software ginagamit niya is LAP or logical access path, while si DBMS to the database, mismong database, PAP or physical access path. Next step naman is concurrency control. For example, may dalawang user or programs na nag-attempt na mag-access ng same record at the same time, for sure magkakaproblema yan. For example, sabi dito, an inventory control program might attempt to reduce the inventory level for a product by 10 units because 10 units were just shipped to a customer. At the same time, a purchasing program may attempt to increase the inventory level for the same product by 200 units because inventory was just received. So, sinasabi dito, simultaneously, ginagawa siya, may isang user, nagbawas, for example, inventory to. May isang user, binawasan niya ng 10 units yung current na inventory. For example, yung current inventory natin is 50, ganun. Binawasan niya ng 10 units. So, yung current na unit na matitira na lang is 40. Then, at the same time, yung isang user, dinagdagan niya ng 200 units kasi may bagong deliver na inventory. So, ang mangyayari doon, it's either madidisregard yung pagbawas ng 40 or madidisregard yung pagdagdag ng 200. So, in order to eliminate this kind of errors, dun papasok si concurrency control. Yung gagawin ni concurrency control, ilalak niya yung lahat ng application or ilalak niya lahat ng other application para isa lang yung pwedeng makagamit at a certain time. So, for example, si user A, gagamitin niya yung program, yung inventory control program. Tapos, si user B naman, gagamitin niya rin. Kaso, naunang mag-login si user A. Ibig sabihin, si user B, hindi niya magagamit unless matapos yung ginagawa ni user A. Ganun yung concurrency control. After that, we have what we call manipulating data and generating reports. So, after ma-install ng DBMS, pwede na siyang gamitin ng mga employees, managers, consumers para mag-generate ng report or makakuha ng mga mahahalagang information about dun sa certain database sa isang organization. For example, sa McDonald's, yung McDonald's may database yan. And yung database nila, naglalaman yun ng mga allergens. For example, ikaw, allergic ka sa tomato, ganyan. Ipapakita niya lahat ng mga products nila na nagko-contain ng tomato. And, kunwari, ikaw, tawag dito, allergic ka sa milk, ganyan. Ipapakita niya lahat ng mga products na nagko-contain ng milk. So, ano yung ibig sabihin nito? Yung DBMS, hindi lang siya pang-store ng data. Ginagamit din siya para gumawa ng reports at sumunod sa mga legal requirements. Instead na manual search or manual list, automated na at mas reliable kasi structured yung data. And yung DBMS din, pinapadali niya yung pag-organize. Pinapadali niya yung organization na mag-store, mag-organize, and mag-produce na reports mula sa mga data nila para makatulong sa decision making and pag-comply sa mga laws and regulations. After all is said and done, natapos na yung schema mo, napasok mo na sa database, meron ka na ring data dictionary, nagkaroon ka na rin concurrency control. Yung next step na lang na gagawin mo is i-maintain mo yung database. E paano mo magagawa yun? With the help of developing database queries or requests. At one example of that is QBE or query by example. Yung QBE, isa tong paraan para magtanong or maghanap ng data sa database nang hindi kailangan magsulat ng codes or SQL codes. Mamaya i-explain ko ano yung SQL. So, instead na mag-type ka ng commands, mag-fill up ka lang ng form or template na parang table or kumbaga ito, visual lang siya. Wala siyang, hindi mo kailangan mag-input ng kung ano-ano, pipindot ka lang. Automatic nagagawa ng SQL DBMS sa likod, tapos ibibigay niya na lang yung results through visuals. Kagaya nitong example natin, ayan, kung gusto mo makita yung quantity, yung unit price, ipipindot ka lang. Wala ka nang isusulat or itatype na command. Next naman is yung history ng structured query language or yung SQL. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. So, nung 1970s, si D.D. Chamberlain at iba pang researchers sa IBM San Jose Lab ang nag-develop ng tinatawag nating SQL or Structured Query Language. So, yung SQL, ito yung pinaka-standard na language na ginagamit para makipag-usap sa or para ma-access mo yung database. So, pwede siyang i-pronounce as SQL or pwede rin siya, tinatawag siyang SQL. Kumbaga parang binasa mo lang. So, meron tayong tinatawag na ANSI standard. Yung ginawa yung ANSI standard or yung American National Standards Institute na official standard ng SQL noong 1986. Dahil dito, lahat ng database systems, both malalaking mainframe computers at mga maliliit or mga personal computers, inadapt na yung SQL. So, yung naging resulta, yung SQL yung naging universal query language ng database. And yung SQL, meron din siya mga built-in functions. Like for example, itatype mo AVG. Kukunin niya nun yung average, max, yun yung hanapin yung largest value, and min naman para sa mga smallest value. Alam ko marami to pero for example, yung count, yung sum, para lang siya sa Excel, pero di ko na nasama dito sa presentation. So, in short, SQL yung standard na language para mag-search, mag-update, mag-manipulate ng data sa mga databases. May example tayo dito ng isang SQL coding. So, meron tayong employee table dito na may 4 na employees, sina Alice, Bob, Carla, Daniel, ayan. Tapos, yung table na to, yung database table na to, meron siyang mga columns. Yun yung ID, yung name, yung department, and yung salary. Na may laman din na 4 records, which is yun nga, yung 4 na employees. And yung department nila and yung salary nila. For example, yung HR ka na nasa payroll. Gusto mong hanapin lahat ng employee mo, list of employees. So, yung code na gagamitin mo is yung select asterisk from employee. Ibig sabihin lang ng asterisk is i-include mo lahat nung nasa column na yon. So, for example, pinapakuha sa iyo lahat ng names and salaries ng mga empleyado na nasa IT department lang. Yung gagamitin mong code is yung select name, salary from employee where department equals IT. So, yung babalik na resulta sa iyo is Bob na may 70,000 na salary and Carla na may 90,000 na salary. Then, for example, pinapakompute sa iyo yung average ng lahat ng salary values. So, yung input mo na code is yung select AVG parenthesis salary, naka-parenthesis yun, from employee. Then, yung babalik na resulta sa iyo is i-add niya lahat ng mga salary ng 4 na employee, then i-divide niya sa 4, which yields to 67,500. Then, to find the highest and lowest salary, gagamitin mo lang na code is yung select max salary from employee. Then, para makuha mo naman yung lowest, ipapalitan mo lang yung max into minimum. Min.
Selecting a database management system. The database administrator often selects the best database management system for an organization. The process begins by analyzing database needs and characteristics. The information needs of the organization affect the type of data that is collected and the type of database management system that is used. Important characteristics of the databases include the following. So, number 1 is database size, the number of records or files in the database. So, dito is kapag sobrang dami ng data, example, sa isang university na milyong student records, mas okay gumamit ng Oracle kasi kaya niya mag-handle ng sobrang laki ng database. So, next is database cost, the purchase or lease cost of the database. Dito naman is kung maliit lang na negosyo o startup, mas tipid gumamit ng MySQL o PostgreSQL kasi libre siya at open source. So next is concurrent users, the number of people who need to use the database at the same time. Dito is kung maraming tao ang sabay-sabay gagamit ng system, gaya ng sa bank, mas bagay ang Microsoft SQL server kasi kaya niyang mag-support ng maraming users ng sabay. So next is performance, how fast the database can update records. So, dito naman is kung online shopping site naman tulad ng Shopee, kailangan mabilis mag-update ng orders at payments, kaya mas okay yung Amazon Aurora na mabilis sa transactions. So, next is integration, the ability to work seamlessly with other applications and databases. So, dito naman is kung ang grocery store na gumagamit ng POS system, tapos gusto i-connect sa inventory at sales reports, mas madaling gamitin yung PostgreSQL or MongoDB kasi flexible sila. So, the last one is vendor, the reputation and financial stability of the database vendor. Dito is kung may malaking kumpanya na gusto ng matibay na support at long-term na service, mas safe ang Oracle o IBM DB2 kasi kilala at trusted na sila. So, next is using databases with other software. So, database management systems are often used with other software and the internet, functioning as either front-end or back-end applications. As a front-end, users interact directly with the database, such as researchers entering survey results that are later analyzed by another program. As a back-end, the DBMS works behind the scenes to support other applications, like a university website retrieving book availability from a library catalog database. So, ang DBMS ay pwedeng gamitin as front-end or back-end. Sa front-end, users ang naglalagay ng data, tulad ng researchers na nag-encode ng survey results. Sa back-end naman, DBMS ang nagbibigay ng data sa ibang apps, tulad ng university website na kumukuha ng book availability sa library catalog.
Database administration. So, ano nga ba yung database administrator? Okay. A database administrator is a technical expert who ensures the databases are well-designed, secure, efficient, and reliable. So, meron silang mga main role. First is plan and design, create and operate, secure, monitor, and maintain. So, bakit plan and design? Database administrator design how the data will be organized and stored. For example, sa hospital, yung database administrator, sila yung nagde-decide kung saan or paano nila i-store yung patient's record, doctor's information, and appointments. Next is create and operate. They install the database software and make it work in the organization system. Third one is secure. The database administrator protect the data from hackers, viruses, and unauthorized access. Lastly is yung monitor and maintain. They keep track of performance and fix problem before they become serious. So, yung mga database administrator, meron silang skills na kailangan. Unang-una, dapat meron silang knowledge sa organization's business. Halimbawa, yung database administrator, nag-a-apply sila sa bangko, kailangan mo nilang malaman or dapat meron silang understanding about sa mga accounts, loans, and transaction. Next naman is, dapat meron silang ability to keep up new technologies such as cloud computing and AI bases. So, yung database administrator, kailangan meron din silang collaboration with user and programmer. With user, to understand what kind of data is important. Next is, dapat meron din sa programmer to make sure application use the database correctly and follow standard rules. So, bakit nga ba important tong database administrator? A database failure can stop an entire organization. So, imagine natin kung yung bank's database goes down, ATM won't work, online banking fails, and million can be lost. So, di ba? Kaya sobrang importante niyan. Pangalawa is pwede silang targetin ng hacker kung walang database administration. Next is data administrator. So, magkaiba yung database administrator sa data administrator. The data administrator, so yung role niya is non-technical but focuses on data rules and policies. So, yung mga responsibility nito is define data standard. Next is ensure data is consistent and meaningful. Third is work with manager to set data access rights. And lastly is to communicate this rule to the database administrator, yung kanina, who implement them. So, bakit nga ba importante ito? Without clear standards, different departments may use the same term differently, leading to confusion. Halimbawa, yung isang department, ang definition ng customer sa kanila is as someone who bought once. While sa other department, dinidefine nila yung customer as someone who regularly buy. So, magkakaroon ng pagkakagulo, ganun. The data administrator ensures everyone follow the same definition to avoid data errors. So, next naman is yung popular database management. Popular database management are widely used software tools that allow users and organizations to efficiently store, organize, retrieve, and manage large amount of data. This system makes it easier to handle databases without having manually code every interaction. So, in short, popular database management are most trusted and commonly used database systems that help organizations handle data securely, efficiently, and at scale. So, example nito sa Microsoft Access, FileMaker Pro sa mga maliliit na businesses. So, sa malalaking businesses naman, yung ginagamit nila yung MySQL kung familiar kayo, PostgreSQL. So, example of use nito is yung Google and Amazon. So, yung Google and Amazon offer database services to businesses worldwide. Diba meron tayong ganun? And next is sa company like Procter and Gamble use DAAS to combine hundreds of projects into one database, reducing costs and improving efficiency. So, next naman is yung Special Purpose Database System. So, special purpose database system. Some industry needed custom database designed for their unique needs. So, it means it designed for a specific industry or function. Halimbawa nito is yung sa Apple iTunes database, a specialized database management system that organizes music files by artist, album, genre, and more. It lets users search quickly and manage billions of songs worldwide. So, important ito because it tailored solution for better performance and efficiency in a specific field like healthcare, research, and entertainment.
So, ayun po no. Ano nga ba yung database applications po no mga kaibigan? Basically, yung database applications, these applications allow users to link the company databases to the internet, set up data warehouses and marts, use databases for strategic business intelligence, place data at different locations, use online processing and open connectivity standards for increased productivity, develop databases with the object-oriented approach, and search for and use unstructured data such as graphics, audio, and video. No? Yung database applications mo, no, it is a software program that act as a user interface to a database, no? Allowing you to interact with and retrieve data. No? For examples po, no, sa mga e-commerce, no, lahat naman po siguro tayo ang gumagamit ng e-commerce like Shopee, TikTok, Lazada, no? It's a online, no? Allow you to store product informations like customer details and transaction history. Kapag nag-search tayo, makikita natin yung mga items, no? Make purchases tayo and track orders. So, dako naman tayo sa linking the company database to the internet, no? The ability to link databases to the internet is one reason the internet is so popular nowadays. A large percentage of corporate databases are accessed over the internet through a standard web browser. Being able to access bank account data, student transcripts, credit card bills, product catalogs, and a host of other data online is convenient for individual users and increases effectiveness and efficiency for businesses and organizations. So, may tatlo po tayong data, no? Una, yung data warehouses po. Ano nga ba yung data warehouses po? Yung data warehouses po, no, mga kaibigan, no, it is a database that holds business information from many sources in the enterprise, covering all aspects of the company's processes, products, and customers. So, yung data warehouses po, no, ito yung mga isang file po yung mga data. For examples mo, no, sa Mekene po, no, gumagamit kami ng isang app na kung saan nandun po lahat yung mga files. Like yung mga bin code, lahat code ng isang item. Halimbawa na lang sa kung kailan may expire yung mga hotdogs, ganun. Hotdogs, tocino, yan, yung mga yan. Makikita rin po natin kung kailan pa-expired or kailan natin madi-deliver sa market.
Data marts are subsets of data warehouse, bring online analysis of sale, inventory, and vital business data to smaller business and departments. They contain detailed data for specific areas like finance or personnel. Useful for smaller groups needing detailed data, they hold tens of gigabytes. They deploy on less powerful hardware and offer saving. Vendor provide specialized software and companies like Sybase and Microsoft offer deployment solution. Data marts provide target business information to decision makers as exemplified by the U.S. Department of Defense clinical data marts for military personnel. So yan, ang data marts ay parang mini database mula sa malaking data warehouse na nakapokus sa isang bahagi ng organisasyon para mas madali at mas mabilis makuha ang kinakailangan impormasyon. Example, ang data marts kasi ay nakapokus siya sa isang trabaho. Example, yung HR. Human resources, data marts, may datos tungkol sa empleyado, attendance, sweldo, training, performance, appraisal, yung trabaho ng data marts. If na focus niya lang yung isang trabaho. Dadako naman tayo sa data mining. Data mining is an information analysis tool that automatically discover patterns and relationship in data warehouse, and it extract valuable information to evaluate business strategies, improve competitiveness, increase profit, and transform business processes. Used extensively in marketing, it helps improve customer retention and various analysis, ultimately helping user find answer to question they haven't considered. So, ang data mining naman ay isang proseso ng pag-aanap, pagkuha at pagsusuri ng mga nakatagong pattern, relasyon at mahalagang impormasyon mula sa malalaking hanay ng datos, warehouse o iba pang sources. So yung data mining parang nagre-research ka. For example, may umutang sa'yo tapos hindi nagbabayad, malaki na yung interest niya sa utang niya sa'yo. Ngayon, syempre dahil di siya nagpaparamdam, hanapin mo saan siya nagtatago, kukunin mo address, family, background niya, ganun para matuntun mo siya. Punta naman tayo sa business intelligence. Business intelligence involves gathering and analyzing information for positive business effect. IMS Health uses BI for costume marketing in the pharmaceutical industry. BI turns data into useful information, providing insight into problems and improving operation. Competitive intelligence, a subset of BI, focuses on competitors and market changes. Counterintelligence protect information from hostile gatherers by defining trade secret. Data loss prevention, DLP system lockdown data within an organization, identifying, monitoring, and protecting data on these networks and emails, aiding compliance with data protection regulation. So, ang business intelligence naman ay isang proseso, teknolohiya at mga kasangkapan na ginagamit ng mga kumpanya upang mangolekta, magsuri at magpakita ng datos para makagawa ng mas epektibong desisyon sa negosyo. Example, yung mga fast food chain sa Pilipinas, Jollibee, McDo, KFC, ginagamit yung statistics sa business intelligence para malaman kung ano ang pinaka-paborito ng mga tao na fast food chain. Yung madalas na ginagamit dito yung statistic or operation research.
Information system at work. Ito yung actual use of information system sa workplace para maging easier, faster, and smarter ang business processes. Basically, pinapakita niya how technology, people, and processes work together to support daily operations, help in decision-making, and solve problems. It's like combination of tech, people, and process to make the work efficient. So for example, yung supermarket cashier system, yung POS, point of sale system. Dati mano-mano sinusulat yung benta sa resibo at kinocompute pa isa-isa. Now that we have the POS system, iscan lang yung barcode at automatic lalabas na yung price ng item. And nag-a-add up agad yung total at real-time din na i-update ang inventory. The cashier's work become faster, there are fewer errors, and it also is easier for the manager to check which products are best-selling. The database that drives the Austrian Turnpike. ASFINAG built the world's first fully automated tolling system for trucks in Austria. It tracks over 700,000 vehicles through radio boxes and 800 toll gates, calculating fees by size, load, time, and emissions. Cameras catch unregistered vehicles while drivers check tolls online. The system processes 2.5 million transactions weekly, works across several countries, and was completed in 18 months by 100 plus IT professionals. Austria wanted to modernize its toll system. Instead na mag-stop sa mga booths, they built a database-driven tolling system for 2,100 km of highways. Vehicles get a small device, ito yung transceiver box, that communicates with toll gates using microwaves. The system collects data automatically: vehicle type, size, weight, time of day, emissions. Camera take photos for extra verification or if the vehicle is not registered. All data goes into the database and data warehouse. Bills are calculated, sent electronically, and reports are generated automatically. Runs 2.5 million transactions per week without human help. A distributed database stores data in different locations but keeps them connected so users can access and share information anywhere. It improves efficiency but needs strong security and accuracy. A replicated database is a copy of the main database, kept in many places, giving faster access and lower costs while staying updated through synchronization. So for distributed database, example is the Google Drive. Imagine your group project is stored in Google Drive. Some files are uploaded by your friend in Milan, some by a teammate in New York, and some by you in Manila. Even the files are saved in different locations. Everyone can open and edit them anytime through the internet. You don't care where the file is stored, you just access it. That's how a distributed database works. So for the replicated database, example here is the photocopied handouts. Imagine your teacher has one original handout. To save time, they make photocopies and give them to each student. If one student makes corrections, like writing notes, they give it back, and the teacher updates the original copy. Later, the teacher makes new copies with updates and distributes again. That's how a replicated database works. Kept in many places, updated regularly.
Online Analytical Processing or OLAP. Online Analytical Processing is software that allows users to analyze large and complex datasets from multiple perspectives, helping organizations make better decisions. It is widely used to evaluate business performance, such as sales by region, project, product, or time, and is offered by vendors like Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, and others. Ang OLAP ay isang teknolohiya at pamamaraan ng sistema na idinisenyo upang suportahan ang interactive at mabilis na pagsusuri ng malalaking volume ng data. Ito ay bahagi ng mas malawak na kategory ng business intelligence na kinabibilangan din ng relational database, report writing, etc. Ang purpose ng OLAP ay magbigay kakayahan sa mga user na suriin ang data upang makakuha ng mga insight at makagawa ng matalinong desisyon. This table is a comparison of OLAP and data mining. For characteristic, ang purpose ng OLAP at data mining ay supports data analysis and decision making. Type of analysis supported, top-down. Ang sa OLAP po is top-down. Ang top-down ay isang paraan ng pagsusuri ng data mula sa malaking tanong o problema hanggang mahanap o masagot ang problema. Ang sa data mining naman po is bottom-up, which is bottom-up discovery-driven data. Kabaligtaran naman ito ng top-down. Ito ay nagsisimula sa insights o pattern hanggang sa makakuha ng isang malaking data. And so skills required of user sa OLAP po must be very knowledgeable of the data in this business context. Data mining must trust in data mining tools to uncover valid, worthwhile hypotheses. Object Relational Database Management Systems, o ORDBMS, combines the features of relational databases with object-oriented capabilities to handle more complex data. Ito po ay parang isang hybrid na database na nagbibigay daan para gamitin ang relational database, habang nagdaragdag ng kakayahang humawak ng mas komplikado at object-oriented na data. Visual, audio, and other database systems. Organizations today require database systems that can store not only raw data but also visual, audio, and other complex information. Image databases are widely used by industries such as finance, healthcare, and government to store records, X-rays, or scan documents, replacing paper-based systems. Ang visual database systems is database designed for us to see an actual data through pictures, videos, animations, etc. Sa audio database naman, dito po mapasok yung music, podcast, mga voice recording, etc.